Hello, my fellow Mad Hotties. Welcome back to another DTI styling video. Today, we're going to do another round of styling non-VIP fits. So, let's begin. For these three fits, I was interested in getting inspo, like beach inspo, because it's summertime and we only have a couple weeks left till fall, if you can believe that. And I'm a fall baby, so shout out to my Scorpios and my fellow fall Mad Hotties. But as you can see so far, I've already started layering the fit. This is the look we're actually going for, that I was inspired by, because as soon as I saw that picture, I was like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do with it. So I at first was trying to look for mainly ruffles. And as you can see, there's like a lot of ruffles within this top, and we have a lot of ruffles. So what I just did was used the two ruffle tops that are always used in non-VIP, and then I layered some of the skirts for the bottom part. I used one of the coated skirts and added on top of the other wavy skirts. And if you don't have that specific coat skirt, it's fine. Just layer as many skirts as you possibly can to give that ruffle effect. And as you can see here, I'm looking for patterns, and as also, I don't know if you noticed, but I also added the other coated shirt as well that comes with the jacket. It's not the It's Nicholas one, it's something else, I can't remember, there's so many codes. But I also layered the Baddie Pass seashell top, and it wasn't VIP, it's actually, you can buy it with seashells, and it's perfect for layering like shirts like this. And in just a moment, it's going to come together so beautifully. So as you can see here, I'm trying to match up the colors that go with the skirt, because I actually did want to follow the inspo bit by bit. So we went in with the turquoise for the skirt, and then we're just trying to find a pattern for the top, which was a little trickier because, it's a little orangish, yellowish, and a few little patterns within it. And I realized that this greenish goldish pattern here actually kind of fit the vibe, and I used that for the rest of the top. And I think this is one of my favorite combo hack, I guess. This would be a combo hack. And I think the coated jacket with the shirt is like perfect for layering combos and everything. And now we're just continuing to color in the rest of the top, and we're pretty much done with that. So we're going back in to look for a cute little bag. And yes, this is a part of the Rich Girl set, I believe, but it's non-VIP, but you just have to pay Robux for it, and it's worth it. I use this all the time, and I layer the Rich Girl set all the time with many of my fits. But anywho, onto the hair. The inspo we were going in with today was kind of like the late 90s alternative hairstyle. And at first I was worried with how this was going to turn out, because this braid bun has shaved sides, and I wish they had a toggle for non-shaved sides, but it works out in the end. So we're just layering the hairstyle together, and it actually turned out better than I expected it was going to. Was a little bit worried, but I'm loving how everything turned out so far. And as you can see here, I'm going back in to color in the hair, and I was like, why not go for like a ginger vibe, because I kind of feel like it fits the vibe. At first I was a little worried that it wasn't going to, because I was gonna go back in to do blonde, and I was like, no, stop going for blonde, just do something different. And that's what we went in for. And now onto the makeup. I am actually pretty much obsessed with these new eyes, the new faces. So the vibe I actually wanted to go in today was with this inspo here, but also matching it up to the fit. I just really loved how this looked, and I was like, these eyes would just be perfect for how this makeup look is going to come together. I know it looks funky right now, but it's going to come together, don't worry. And I'm just going back in to see how many more things I can use. And like I said, still debating if I was going to even use my beauty marks, because that is my go-to. I love beauty marks, and I have beauty marks as well, IRL. So, but anywho, as you can see, I started coloring it in, and it's just coming together nicely already. And at first I was like, why is the rest of the face looking so uneven? And I realized, I was like, oh right, we don't have the blush yet. And don't worry, it's gonna come together in a second. We just have to make sure we get the eyebrows and everything else for the face. And I am just actually obsessed with how the eyeshadow makeup look turned out. And as you can see, look, the blush definitely helped the face a little bit. And I feel like the gingerous orangeous blush with the freckles definitely worked out beautifully. And here, as you can see, I'm trying to put some lashes on. I swear, even in the game, I still struggle to put lashes on like IRL, because even with this toggle, I'm like struggling. So, but don't worry, I get it in the end. Just had to toggle it and just work with it as much as possible. But anywho, that was pretty much it with that, and this was the finishing look. Loved how this turned out. And now on to the next look. So for the next look, I was actually inspired by this outfit here. And as you can see, I'm going in with the basic dress that everyone pretty much starts off with. But what you're gonna see is that I'm going to layer it a lot with just the skirts. I like using it as a top mainly, and then I layer it to make it look a completely different dress. And like I said, ruffles. The dress has ruffles, so just look for skirts that have ruffles, and it comes together beautifully. And as you can see, I'm trying to look for some patterns here. I am not a huge fan of what they came up with the summer patterns. I feel like they could have done a little bit better, because I hardly use the summer patterns. Like, I feel like I wish we had some summer patterns that would work with everything, because it just wasn't fitting the vibe that I wanted to go for. And as you can see later, I'm going to change the pattern actually. Before we change the pattern, I was like, let's just go with the hair first. And this was the hair inspo I was inspired to do today. So just kind of layered the two braids, and in a moment you'll see I'm going to enlarge the braids to make it more noticeable. So this is what I meant by when I am enlarging it to show more of the smaller braids, and just coloring the beads in. This is before I'm going to change the pattern, but it looks like now I decided to do the makeup before going in with the patterns. And for this look, I wanted to go for a more natural look. I didn't have an inspo for this. I was just like, let's just go for like beachy vibes, summery vibe. So as you can see, I'm just getting everything together, coloring in the lips, and of course going with the freckles with the blush. Like, it looks like a nice sun-kissed look, which is what I was going for. And I just put some liner on. And what's interesting is someone asked, like, how do I use so many different faces in custom makeup? Well, in the way I think of it, I think of course I get makeup inspo, but at the same time I just think of like how I would do my makeup in certain outfits. And because of playing this game for so long, it just hits me as to what I can use. But anywho, as you can see now, I'm changing the patterns, going back in and trying to see which would work, and I finally decided to go with the pink one. I never really usually use the color pink. I'm more of like a blue and dark color kind of girl, but I actually like this pink, and especially if it's styled right. And as you can see, it will be in a moment. So now we're going to get our little accessories here, our little purse, and just going to match that with the vibe of the dress, and then make it glittery. And that was the finishing look. I really loved how this turned out, and I think this might be my favorite one. But anywho, on to the last one. So with this last look here, we were going with this inspiration because I was like, as soon as I looked at the outfit, I could just break down exactly how I could put it together, and that's just the way my mind works. It's weird. I think another thing is like I love fashion, and I was always, excuse me, on Pinterest constantly before even starting DTI. So now that I do this and put two and two together, just layering and putting together outfits is just kind of so much more easier for me to do. But anyway, as you can see, I did go back in with the ruffled shirt that we used for the first one, because as you can see, the dress is very ruffled, and we did add another layer of a top as well. If there's anything I wish that DTI could do is toggle the top part, like, you know, the white part, the white top that kind of is like the 90s inspired, and take off like that collar part, like the neck part that almost looks like a choker. You could toggle that off and like make different looks with it. But as you can see here, I'm trying to go in with a pattern that fits the vibe of the dress. This actually was looking pretty nice, but as I said before, I wish there was like better patterns, you know what I mean? Because I hardly actually use the summer patterns. I actually go in with more of the cultural patterns, but just for today, this just happens to fit the vibe of the inspos I'm going for. Now we're going back in with the shoes. We did go back in. Actually, I was gonna go with the strappy heels, but then I was like, we have the butterfly heels. Why not go for it? And I think this was actually from the Baddie Pass, and I don't think it was for VIP. It's for everyone. Everyone can get the butterfly shoes. So I honestly thought this was perfect for that. And at first I was going to stick with these sunglasses and follow the inspo to a T, but later on you'll see that I am not going to do that. Now on with the hair, this was the look I was trying to go for, like the 90s high bob. I don't know if that's what you call it, but as you can see, it was definitely trial and error, because I was getting a little frustrated because you have to, it's not like there's like a toggle you can do to make it look naturally bigger, except for like the scale, and sometimes the adjuster just wasn't doing it for me, because then it just makes you look bald in the back. And I really wanted to cry, because also my game was lagging and my iPad was heating up, which you do not see. I cut out a lot of parts. It took about almost an hour just to finish like all these 3 fits, when it could have easily just been 20. But as you can see, I'm trying to toggle the mess out of this hairstyle, and it just, it was a lot of trial and error. So now that we're done with the craziness of the hairstyle, we're going in with the makeup, and I'm going in with a little natural looking makeup since we're having the bangs cover the eyes, which is why I also went in with the big doll eyes, because it's going to pop out more. And just going with like a little natural blush, and still going for the beachy vibe. We're going to match up with some like light greens, and to match the outfit, and it's gonna come together very nicely. And honestly, in the beginning, I was worried of how this was gonna turn out with the hair and the makeup, but I actually loved it. It worked perfectly. And as you can see, I'm going in with the beauty marks. I love beauty marks, and I feel like for this fit, it definitely was gonna work. So now that's done, this is the finishing look. Please comment below which one of the fits was your fave, and if you guys would even do combos and hats like this. And I hope you guys like this video, and I shall see you guys in the next one.